Welcome to UR Tech Partner, your ultimate destination for mastering AI and DevOps. Dive into the world of cutting-edge technology with us and unlock the secrets of artificial intelligence and development operations. Stay ahead of the curve and elevate your tech skills. Learn AI and DevOps with us today.
Hello guys, welcome in another YouTube tutorial in DevOps series. So we always doing some practical industry scale small project to demonstrate that how this tool could be effective. So today we are going to discuss the Terraform actually. The Terraform is the very well famous tool for for creating infrastructure as a code. What does it mean by infrastructure? Infrastructure means that computer RAM, the computer which could run the software. This is just infrastructure. So this is just simple definition, but infrastructure code goes to the computer warehouse and stuff like that. Nowadays, many big companies are shifting from the on-premises to the cloud. Many big firms and enterprises are already shifted to the cloud, regardless if it is Amazon or Azure or any other GCP. So now actually this tool, Terraform tool has gotten more, familiarity and the use case has increased. Let me just put you through a practical use case why it is needed. So for example, normally in industry, when you're working on some stuff, you need to create a lot of services in your cloud, number one. Second, you have to create a lot of different environments. So dev environment, test environment, production environment. So, for example, in total, you have to create 30 to 40 different services. You need to communicate each service with other. And if you have three different environments, which means that you have to configure 90 different services, their policies, their roles, their configurations. So if it's comes to, for example, your customer requires you to that, can you please create another copy of this environment where the trainees actually could test and trial stuff, but we don't want to mess up our production environment, but yeah. So which means now if you are on the console, you need to create the 30 services. You need to create 30 times different role. You need to create 30 times different stuff, which is actually a lot of work overhead. And secondly, there is lot of chances of human and level mistakes. And there is a lot of chances of miss and discrepancies in giving some permission and allocations and stuff like that. So this is kind of, not a very clean way, number one. Secondly, this is not a very efficient way of doing this. And there's a lot of repetition and there's a lot of prone to error. And thirdly, it needs a lot of time. So there is an efficient way. For example, no problem. If you need to create a small configuration and you want that configuration immediately, effectively implemented on all the different environments. It's just a matter of two clicks or two commands, and you're done. So that is the landscape, guys, for the infrastructure as a code. In the previous videos, we have seen the Ansible. Yeah, Ansible is kind of, competitor or alternative tool, but Ansible is initially designed for configuration management tool. For example, installing software on different server. Yes, it could do. It could do cloud as well. But this is, every tool has some specialty, and Ansible has specialty of doing configurations, not creating an infrastructure. But Terraform is a well famous tool for creating infrastructure, especially on the clouds. So without wasting more time, let's first do that. What is how it works infrastructure wise, like how it interact. And secondly, we'll see that how you can install it. And thirdly, we'll do some practical hand-on. how we can create simple resources on cloud. And in the next tutorial, we'll see more complex and more practical use cases. It is very simple. So HashiCorp is industry which or a company which has created this tool. This is free of cost, of course. HashiCorp come with very similar to JSON, very similar to JSON, their own language. If you know, if you're familiar already with JSON, then it's not a matter. They have their own language, which is indentation agnostic and cloud agnostic, which means that it is not designed for any specific cloud like Amazon or Azure or GCP. You can pretty much run any, you can use it for any kind of infrastructure. Shortly, I will show you which number of different provider it can work with. There are some, of course, another use case for the cloud for network configuration management and even the configuration management as well, but this is what it's famous for. It has, so this is, for example, a computer, simple a window, which I am going here. And this is a virtual machine running Ubuntu. I start this, I run this here, and this is something I got in the end. So this is actually my computer here. And on computer, I could simply create a new folder, make directory, and then I can keep my configuration file here, and state file will be generated automatically. What is the difference between these two? Configuration file is the file or all files. So what Terraform is doing is actually scanning all the files with TF and finding relevant configuration automatically. For example, if you have an initialization for account credential management, it will do automatically. If you have, for example, another file written for creating EC2 instance, it will do it. So you don't need to organize that much, but the state file will be automatically generated. What is the state file? State file is the file that keeps all the information after you create the cloud resources, and it has all the information. For example, what is the name of EC2 instance? So how much permission it has, how much storage, a lot of information about your resources. And the state file contain all those resources, and you can also see those resources. So yeah, provider means you need to create the configuration, which means that to make it possible, infrastructure as a code, Terraform is running a software online or get the dependencies of that cloud. For example, let me show you what I mean here. For example, if I say AWS, AWS has infrastructure and they're changing the stuff at a very rapid pace. And what HashiCorp does that it has its own backend software which makes it possible to create all those resources. And when you write the provider, it automatically downloads something from the server, just like git clone. When you just git clone, it does something, right? Yeah. Which means that you also need to provide two things to the Terraform. Number one, a credential in the configuration file, and number second is that the provider, which provider it is. And then on the provider, it create actually the infrastructure, whatever resources you want. Let's get started. So first thing first, you just need to do not anything. You just go to any Linux computer. I have this computer here. You need to write this command, which is actually this command sudo this. What it does, it just add simply your key into the setup. And the second thing is that in the repositories, apt repositories, you need to include the HashiCorp as well. They have some standard repositories, but might be they don't have everything added by default in the Ubuntu. So you need to add it, right? You need to press OK. And when you add it, the command is very simple. Now you need to update so that new entry is visible, and then you install simply, sudo apt get install. When you do that, after that you can write Terraform and then version. Great, we have Terraform 1.9.2, which is good. And that's how the first step is to install the Terraform. And then let's so then let's what was the oh shit, what was the command? Hmm. cd terraform, and here for example I can create one file, right? There is nothing inside, and I which with sudo touch I can create a new file main sudo touch, and then I create a directory of let's say I name it configs.tf. The important thing here is that you must have to have this tf in the end. Let's see configs here, and so now I have configurations. So which configuration you need, let me just tell you. I need to open this browser here, and I could search Hashi Terraform HashiCorp. Something like that should be here. And if you come here, and there are a lot more different stuff you can do here. There's use case overview registry. I come to registry here, and then there are many different provider with which I can do infrastructure as a code. And you see, so there are actually too many. And these are the main provider. Even you can do stuff with the, well, if I go here, now the problem really is that you need to click here, and you need to create the file with this configuration here. So you can copy this and paste in the configuration file. And this is the one thing you need. This is a one thing you need. So for example, I can just, I have created here something in the Terraform, and I can sudo nano configs, and I can paste this here, which means that this information or this much information is pretty much not needed. But provider is the AWS. Here my configuration goes. And what are those configuration? I need to tell that which user, even I can initiate Terraform init, and it's gonna init it. But the good thing is, or the more uh, good practice is to just add your credential here. Great. Now, if we are now talking about the AWS, let's go to the AWS and create one new user. Great. So I come here, I come to the IAM. Let me just cancel. Okay, it doesn't cancel. So um, yeah, continue. So when I come here, I come to the AWS console, whatever console it is, I have some account. So of course we need the programmatic access from Terraform to the AWS. So for that we need a IAM. I can just do IAM. When I search IAM, then I can come here. I can come to user. Here I can create a user. Here I come here and say Terraform, and I do not check this because Terraform is not human being who will click here and there. Rather, it is just programmatic access, and so I can do different stuff. I can add this to any specific group, and then I can attach policies to the group, and all the member automatically get. I can copy this somewhere else as well, and normally what you do is that you see right EC2, and this is full manage access. For example, you can do that if you need to create a S3 bucket, then you just hit S3 here, and then you have S3 read access, S3 full access, output access. So there are many S3 access, for example, S3 full access. So these are the stuff you can do, and even you can go to specific policy and write your custom policy, and even you can supply this in your infrastructure as a code in Terraform. So for simplicity, for example, most of the time you need to give the admin role. Here I'm giving the admin role here, which is good. For the purpose of the security, it's one thing. Now let's create a role. I have created a new user here. And for this user, I need to access the security credential, and the most relevant, I mean, there are multiple different way I can enable it, the console, which I don't want to because there is no user interface needed. There is no MFA needed. Oh, what I need that access key, and I should click here. And here actually, so I need command line interface, right? Third party service could be also. Okay. So here different option I can select, but the command line interface means that you need to access your account with command line. I understand. Next, I need to give the tag, which is optional actually, Terraform credentials. Credentials. So don't hit done here because you need to download it first and save it as somewhere. So something like that. Because if you do not copy this, let me just pause the video because I don't want to show this. Now I hide this and then I can press done. When you hit done, then you cannot recover it anymore. You need to create new one. Okay, anyhow, I'm going to delete this key anyhow. But now here you need to write that key as it is, right? Let me just show you how you can write that, for example. I need, so you come here and you just paste this here, and here I am going to paste the my secret key and this access key. So yeah, if you go to the HashiCorp, you can find everything there. Great. So good thing, good. So now let me just do this and I come back. For example, you can just go to the HashiCorp and you can you paste this like that. Order doesn't matter here, and that's how you do that. Let me just paste my the credential keys and init it. Okay, guys, since we have already added our key into the configuration file, and it's very similar what I've shown you on the Terraform website. Now, what you can do is Terraform init. You can initialize your backend, and it's gonna install the version which is needed to perform some task, and it will give you a success message. Great. Superb. That's how you init, and now kind of you're connected with AWS account and everything is good to go. You have created this credential and you have provided this in your config file, and now you need to create another file infra as like ec2.tf sudo 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 touch, and then I can create ec2 like AWS ec2.tf, and here I can really LTR, and then yes, I can write something here, right? Okay, to know what we can do with this, any AWS, you can just come to the documentation here, like documentation AWS, and then these are all the stuff you can do and check about. For example, you're in the latest version here, and then you come here and you see that what you can do here, right? So this is directory server, and all the resources you create here is in directory servers. If you want to do something with DynamoDB here, so you started from here. So this is simple AWS provider example where you can do something, right? There's the access key, great. And this is some other configuration at the advanced level. Then, for example, you can build ARN. So this is the another story here. So there are many different stuff you can do. You can build a function, ACM certificate, API gateway, if you want to connect something. So this is alphabetically all the resources you can create. So here is the example. You can create the um, with this example, you can create the resources API gateway. Similarly, whatever you need, you just go there, you browse there, and you reach there. This is the gateway 2 configuration. Then this is CloudWatch. This is like all the services which is possible here or available. Then DynamoDB, click on there. You need Elastic, you click there. You need whatever you need, just click there and see the example. If you need something in Lambda, you can create the Lambda alias, in Lambda configuration, Lambda function. Here is the complete code to create a Lambda function here. This is the resource name here, Lambda. These are the data like archive file and payload if you attach this, and that's how it works. So for example, here you just define the data, and in the data you define the role, principal is allowed, and then you go to the resources and you create resources. Here's again data. Now this is zip file you want to attach with the Lambda, and here is again the resources. The runtime you've mentioned, it could be Python as well, and this gonna create your Lambda server. Ephemeral storage is storage that destroy every time you do that. So there are a lot of other file attached to it. So that's meaning of the data source. So now, so the thing is that it is categorized everywhere in how you can use this. For example, here you can also search something EC2, And now in the EC2, whatever section EC2 comes is findable to here. So EC2 is in Cloud 9, EC2 in EBS2, Elastic. This is the another services EBS. I am not now sure. This is the compute cloud, and here you can come and see that how you can create stuff, right? That's how you browse the possibility of doing stuff, right? This is the example available, all the option available. What you can do, you can copy, you can create a new instance from pre-given. So yeah. Okay, now this is the code to write instance. I can find this on the official documentation too. But first for the any EC2, actually, I need to make sure that this EC2, is free and come under the free tier. For example, if I come here and I say that I need Ubuntu image, and okay, this is the free tier, and now I can have that Ubuntu. This is the AMI I can copy easily up to here as well. For that much also works actually, and I need to write it here actually. Okay, so then sudo nano AWS EC2, and then let's paste this here. So I don't know. That should be working now. And great. T2 micro is the instant type name, which is good. Great. Now let's see how it creates something or not. Let's save it. Okay, let's launch instance. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this AMI should work, I guess. Great. Yes, this should work. EC2. And now there are two different stuff we can do here. One thing is Terraform keywords, Terraform plain. Terraform plain is doing nothing. It's just trying to tell you that which action it's going to perform. So it says that this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create another state in AWS instant.test. This state will be creating. AMI is known, for example, for now, but everything else is unknown because only when it's gonna create the system. So after apply, actually, it will do some stuff here. And if I do, for example, Terraform apply, Terraform, don't know which region I have given here, but I need to navigate. Yes. Oops. Okay. This AMI doesn't exist. But why? Isn't it the same? Okay. So might be cat. ls. Now you can see that state, right? Because it wasn't so successful, but still. Uh, okay. Sudo nano AWS and come here. It should not be the case, but somehow, I don't know. It comes in T2 micro or where it comes? Which tier it comes? T2 dot micro, T2 tier dot micro, MID. It may be possible that there is a problem with the credentials, so I need to check again that what I have written there. But yeah, okay, then okay, it might be a problem with my ID. Okay, let me just check the ID and then come back. I think so that this is US East 1, and let me check that. Okay, let me check first that I don't want to show my secret keys here. Okay, here actually my region was US2. Might be this is the problem. Terraform apply again, and might be this time it works because the region I have selected is different and the username. Okay, it still doesn't work. But why? Okay, guys, it's now creating. What was the problem? Problem was that in my configuration file, I have mentioned US different region something, and my real region is here US East 1. So please make sure that you mention because it's the ID or IAM is always attached to that. As you can see here, that now resource is here, and if I go here, right, and if I go into the instance, this is the instance just created right now. Great. So it is still initializing T2 micro running. Cool. So as you have seen that how easily we can create the instance. Now if we want to destroy this, we can destroy this easily. Terraform destroy, yes, and it's gonna destroy everything, right? We can list all the state. We can check now state. Let me just show you. Well, Terraform state, it's backup because it's still running. Get Terraform state, and it shows you everything now because now it has created everything and now it shows you everything, right? Which is super. Now it has the state of each and everything. So yeah, now yeah, it's running. Let me just refresh this. Still initializing, but the good thing is that it is there, and I can say destroy, destroy. AWS instance of test. Okay, I should value give yes. value yes, destroying all, and how easy it is. So regardless if these are 1000 instance in 50 different environment or this is a single environment, that much time it's gonna take. So that is what infrastructure as a code, and we can also actually, you know, and it will only destroying the stuff which we have created with Terraform from the state. If we actually refresh it, it's gone, right? It's gone from here, which is great thing. In the next session, actually, we'll do some more meaningful way where we create some VPCs from subnets, some infrastructure of ALCs, like ALC is the control list for the communication, and a lot more other stuff. We'll do something practical in the next. Now we have seen some commands, how to init it, how to plan it to see how it's gonna behave, how to configure it, how to connect with AWS or any cloud, and then we have seen that how we can deploy some resources, how we can destroy some resources, Terraform apply and destroy somehow. And yeah, that's everything for today. Let's do something for tomorrow. And thank you very much. Hit like and subscribe button if you find any value in the content, so it encouraged me to make more. And thank you very much. Bye.